Hey, oh, look at there. Now, this is the thing. Would you look at it?
Happy 50th show, buddy.
Yeah, so it's got 50th at the top. We're above dirt, and with the day we kick it, there's the graveyard. Well, Keith was a good guy. He was good working with, but I'm looking for a new host there, co-host. Robin, look at happy Robin.
Thanks, Robin.
Our true, sweet.
Hi, John.
Who's there? Oh, John McGinnis. Hey, John McGinnis, what's up, buddy? So, wow, to think that, I guess to think that 50 shows, you got to think is a run of it.
I know, but Louis, I don't know if we did. We ever tell the story of how this whole thing got started?
No, it'd be fun if you tell it. I think because you were, yeah.
Well, so Keith and I met at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash years ago, and through a mutual friend, Ashley, who we love. And I was introduced to him, and I think I had to stand on a chair to actually hug you, if I remember correctly. And so we became Facebook friends after that, and just kind of commented back and forth and kept in touch. And one day he just asked if he could call me. I said, sure. So he called me and he said, do you ever think about maybe hosting a show? And I said, I've never thought of it. Never thought, it never crossed my mind. And he was like, well, here's what I have in mind. And then fast forward 50 shows. And
fast
here we
forward
are.
50 shows, yeah. Well, it's very cool to get to have somebody that, when you look at yin and yang, you look at this person brings something, this person brings something.
Oh, thanks,
and
Alex.
There you go. Oh, cool. That's a cooler group. But, just has a compatibility. And I think that's the mainstay is being able to, both of you bring something to the table that's magical. It's fun. You get to have, if you look just thus far, you look at the fun people that are out there that you get to interact. I don't know that I would have got to really interact with Robin as much and some of these other people. When we go to these events and they're like, man, I'll listen to your show or tell me about your show. And, I like to say we're the cool and kind guys, right? The cool and kind peeps. We're not about this, we've had some of the most amazing people on our show, and all the way down to somebody who just brings something fun to the table. We've had people who are well known in the business. They've been on TV. They've been all over the planet doing what they do. And so that's why I bring something to you guys. If you want to learn about something, we go out and try to get that guest. And then you are like, wow, your questions are answered. So it's
and I think that's like a big mission of both of ours, like me being a teacher and you being teaching in your own right, and in your field. And I think that's always been a staple for me with this sort of community and this field, because to me, there is legitimate information, and there are people who've been doing this a really long time.
Right.
And there are people who've studied and researched and created. And I just think that both of us hold that dear when it comes to what our show is about.
Right.
So I'm glad we both value that. And I think we can continue to bring, reputable people and solid sound information through our show. So
speaking of solid people,
awesome. Tim, hi, Fred and Tim. Thank you.
And
thank
Fred.
You. Congratulations.
Something a lot of people may not know about Fred is the guy is.
I love Fred's memes every day. He has the best memes between coffee and Bigfoot and everything. He has some of the best memes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Aliens, everything.
He is probably, no doubt, one of the funniest people that you go, Fred Richards, this Fred Richards guy. He's funny. He just very humorous, kind of a, it's got that dry sense about it, but I get it. I laugh at it. I think it's great. But God, and the others in there, we look and look out there. God, I think about some of the places we've investigated. I'll still never forget going out to the Fort Mifflin and hearing that woman scream.
Oh, I know.
Let me tell you.
I don't know if Greg's on here this evening, but that was something that I remember our faces and looking at Greg. Greg's like, yeah, we hear all the time. And
yeah.
We're like, oh my gosh, but it was,
Courtney.
It was funny.
Hi,
so
Courtney.
profound.
Hello. How you doing? Courtney Peterson. That you sit there and you hear this across the entire field, the fort. You hear a disembodied voice, and it's the screaming woman, the woman that they talk about. And I mean, all of a sudden we hear this, and I looked at Kelly, and she goes, I was like, what the hell was that? And then the dogs, we heard like these dogs.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't think there were dogs at the fort back in the day. They had them, I guess, for many reasons.
Yeah.
But we clearly heard dogs down out in front of us there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and there should have been no physical cause for the dogs. So
no, and
everyone.
And to see these, I can't tell you, we saw shadow figures. We saw movements down there like they were going into buildings and going across. That view up there was really something.
It was. It was. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for the kind words. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Robin. Oh,
yeah.
Those were so sweet.
Both Courtney and Robin, I'll give some. So Courtney and Robin both are known for going out there and doing so much PR stuff for shows. In fact, I know it in my heart. She either won or we told her we were getting her a t-shirt. Kelly?
Hey.
I remember. Yep. And I remember because she had done some things and was just blasted it out there. And I remember that. But that was back when the show was kind of like just beginning, I remember. But yeah.
Yep. So
and I think Robin has got some swag from us. She got some stuff. I think she even won, right?
I think so at one point, right, Robin? I think
so. So got some swag.
But I think so. So tonight, I thought, being our 50th show, now I had high hopes for 50 questions this evening, but I'm not sure that it's going to get to 50. But I put on the ticker at the bottom of the screen, if you have questions for Keith and I tonight, they could be paranormal related, probably. They don't absolutely have to be. And you can veto, buddy. Like if you see a question you don't want to, we can veto questions. We probably won't though, because we like these questions. So, but ask away in the chat tonight. Anybody can post anything about, opinion, our known facts, or just nonsense.
Kelly was a school teacher in her prior life. I was still am a paramedic, firefighter paramedic.
Thanks,
I mean, if there happen to be questions of the sorts like, what's it like to ride on a fire truck? I mean, Cody Rhodes,
Nick, no,
heavyweight champion.
You had to start with it, Nick. You had to get him on a roll about this.
Cody,
I have no opinion. I know this question was indirectly Nick, for me. Thanks, Nick. But I don't have any opinion. Keith, take it away.
Nick, you did see where they're going to have a, I think it's either 10 or so that are going to be actually having to compete for that new belt. So Cody got put in the mix, which I was glad to see. Who go back to
right, Robin
SmackDown.
Okay, here we go. Right, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it's on tonight. I think it rehooked a lot of people back into it because they brought the interest back with that new belt. So I'm excited to see what happens. I think Cody has deserved it, but they want a working champion, and that's one thing. Um, the other guy didn't bring to it. He just didn't bring it. So, here it is.
Well, here's a question. Okay, my friend Lori. Let's see what Lori says. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love the chat. I love the chat. Okay. Lori says her grandson's waking up and looking at his curtains in his room, and is he seeing anyone? Also, he looks around the kitchen. If he's seeing anything, what is it or who is it? Well, I definitely think he's seeing something, Lori, or someone. It feels familiar without reading the whole situation. It does feel familiar, someone familiar. But someone who's maybe been a little more distant and is coming back a little closer right now. And I'm actually going to post more, not about your question, Lori, but something kind of about those sorts of situations on my Maven Medium page tomorrow.
Nick, hopefully. Those are glasses. They are not devil horns.
What do you
mean? Nick says, are they devil horns?
They could be. Glasses? We don't know.
There we go.
There are a couple events coming up. This could go either way. It could be horns, glasses, maybe a halo. Probably not that, but either one of the other two, maybe. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Hi, Chuck. Hi, Rich. Oh, I can't wait to see Rich. 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Henry. Hi. I love the chat's taking off tonight. We'll see how.
Oh, wow. Good evening from the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida. Man, I would love to go do an investigation at an old jail. Oh, Greg. Greg's here. Who is your favorite guest?
Go ahead, Keith.
I tell you what. We've had some great guests on here. We've had some people that are so, oh man, how would I say, just gifted in what they bring to our format of the show. Mm-hmm. We had the doc who's over the Bigfoot, who was on, if you remember, he was on our show. We've had demonologists. We've had people who are,
who own haunted or who manage haunted forts.
Yeah. So
I think that's what Greg, just knowing Greg a little, I think that there was one right answer, and I don't think we got to it fast enough.
So I'm not finished. So as we go there, I will tell you, I'll say this, had Greg not posted the question, I would say that from what, because we had him on the show after the investigation, right? In other words, we'd already had the investigation.
Yeah, we were already there. Mm-hmm.
Greg was going to end up being the one as far as, man, it's not only that what he brings in knowledge and the friendships and helping people and the stuff they do out there at that fort, but I think the ties of that anyway is what he does for his friends. He's had us out there, we've investigated, and I mean, we have had such cool investigation. I'll be honest, there's places I go and investigate once, I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. The fort, if you told me you get to go back, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
It feels like, because you don't even get to investigate all the places at a time. It's like you get a part of it and then it's time to go. Mm-hmm. But I had my situation there in the back and I took a picture. I've taken several pictures there and they've been really good. But I think I showed the one to Greg. That's the first time I went there. And I think he agrees too that very well could have been a portal back where that little in the very back. Golly, it was super cool. But I heard that's when I heard the woman
Yeah.
disembodied voice that goes, "Help us!" And I thought it was somebody behind me talking, like our group,
Yeah.
and there was nobody there. And I said something to him. He goes, "Oh well, that could be the case."
Yeah.
Um,
Robin, I don't want to skip your comments and questions, Robin. So I'm going to do a couple here I see from Robin. I thought that was amazing. Your evidence that you had with that, Robin, I thought that was really, really amazing.
so if anybody hadn't seen it,
she posted it on a couple pages. If you want, Robin, just share where you posted it. It may be on our personal page too, but it was really, really neat. She has some amazing captures, and that was certainly one of them. I was thankful to get to see it. It was really cool.
that was great because people that talk about those type of anomalies, and people know that I'm enthralled by them, will say various things. Oh, it's dust, or it's a bug. Well, that thing did not have wings on it.
Yeah.
And Robin keeps her house clean, where there's not an accumulation of the level probably needed to be enough to be dust to cause that. Not
It was
only
too
that,
purposeful. The movement was too purposeful.
correct. And it came out of where it actually exited, where we think that there's a portal in that, and it exited. It went down, kind of up and down and around and scanned, and then it went whoop back.
Mhm.
So that purposeful movement that's multi-directional is not known of what, like a hummingbird can do that. I think the one creature that would do that I've seen that can on a dime is a hummingbird, but not these other. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
You just don't see it. So
and we can't wait for you to get to Gettysburg too. We look forward to hanging out with you and spending some days together. So make sure to get there.
I want to get to investigate there for sure, because we've had some amazing investigations on the bridge.
Yeah.
We've had some that they call Suicide Bridge, which is not actually that. That's been we went to that little bridge. We've some out on that. It's a target rich environment for investigating. It's so much. And I think that's something I want to do this time that I didn't the last time, is spend more time out doing that and kind of less time just bebopping around there, because you can go there anytime, but you don't get to go invest it. Oh, yeah. Wes is saying that the Saks Bridge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Wes, there's another one that's a little tiny one that's kind of south of there that they call Suicide Bridge, but I don't think there's actually been a suicide there. So there's Saks, the big one, and then there's another one that's south of there, and it's a smaller bridge.
Yeah.
But it's pretty eerie, man. It goes back into the woods right there, and it's kind of creepy at night. So
Robin, my favorite place, my favorite places are generally private cases. They're generally my very favorites. Because I've had some of the most drastic and amazing experiences with cases that are private in people's homes or businesses, that kind of thing. As far as public place, I mean, I really like St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia. Really intense, in my opinion, not for a beginner, but if you're used to energy and experience, for sure, it's a unique place. And I love Pennhurst. It has a place in my heart. So I'll be there in 2 weeks for that event. But I would say of public places, I'd probably pick those two places and Fort Mifflin. And for Mifflin. But I mean, I haven't really, I've never had a place. Nobody posted this in the chat. I'm just yapping. But someone asked me this the other day. They asked if I had ever run out of a place. I've never, knock on wood, I've never run out of a place. I think that they each are amazing in their own right, and just proceed with caution, and intention is everything, just like we talk about, Keith and I talk about. But I think my most poignant moments have come from private, in home or in business, locational cases, I think.
I agree with that for sure, Kelly. One of my most, and John was there with me, profound cases was a home investigation that was, uh, it, it, I don't. It's almost as if it wasn't of this world. Actually, it wasn't, because of what happened and how the effect was able to help the family, and how that happened was just heart-wrenching, emotional.
Yeah.
Cry, disbelief, everyone saying, I can't believe that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it all of us were just floored. But it brought so much happiness for the family that it afterwards they were just wrapped up in an emotional bond of love. Me and that family have a ties forever now. And it's I'll I'll start crying if I start getting into that case, but it's so, I guess it's why we actually do what we do in the paranormal ultimately is to help people. The other is fun. It's a blast. I get it. But getting to go and help bring love and light to a family with a loved one is probably one of the most rewarding things you can do in this industry. It's
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad, it is. St. Albans is very interesting. And of course, Wes, you fit the bill for that, for your question. I'm not clicking here fast enough. So yeah. And Rich, I see your comment about the Knickerbocker. I'm still waiting for you and Angel to take me there whenever you want to go. But I knew that was your favorite place, but I'm still waiting for the two of you to take me. Well,
yeah.
I'll wait for your phone call after the show.
Yeah. We are available for
I can easily be purchased for whatever. If there's iced coffee involved, it doesn't matter.
Iced coffee, a hug, and a little kiss on the forehead.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, I'm in. That's it.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I'm a cheap date, Rich. So
she is fun. She is fun to travel with on the road. My goodness.
Only if I have my iced coffee. If I don't, well, anybody who's traveled with me in the chat knows I get hangry.
Me and Wes will know. Oh my God. They were never more excited to get me out of that car. I had some one-line.
Sometimes
one-liners.
Like,
just
people get stir crazy, and I think that's what happened that day. Those days.
Yeah, it was. We were. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was. We were having it, but sometimes if we don't laugh in life, we'll cry. So sometimes that's my therapy, is just laughing.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, I have a good question for you, buddy. This is just a question I'm throwing in to you. Okay. Can you tell me, is there anything in the paranormal field, in any aspect of the paranormal field, that you can say from your experience, research, and evidence that you do not believe in or think is legit? Cue the Jeopardy music. We don't own the rights to that music, so
yeah, we don't.
We can't use it, but insert it right here.
So as you say that, I'll approach this carefully. I'll say some psychics,
Okay.
Not all.
Now he's treading lightly. Do you see, everyone? Do you see?
When you say that, there are some that are spot on, that really truly are. But man, oh man, does it do the business a bad deal when you get a fake, and woo-wee.
Robin, right? He is, right?
It's that is something that's probably about as bad as you can get, is to do this service such an injustice, is to put yourself out to be something and then attempt to do it, and then you're just totally a fake.
That's another good one, Wes. That's another good one.
So Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the old. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there, aren't there, Wes? But yeah, if you're not really a psychic, if you're just doing this because you've been in other jobs and in other jobs, and you move across the country and you can't get a job, so you said, "Hey, one day I'm going to be a psychic. I think I'll be a psychic. I'm a psychic," and don't do that. Don't just go do your job, mundane little job. Stay away from everybody else who's doing this to help people. Not always about money. And just
For
look
those of
at.
you tuning in, he's not lecturing me.
No, I'm not
He's not.
lecturing.
He's not lecturing me.
I'm
If you
kind
only
of
caught the
I'm
last
kind of
few
steering
words,
down another path, but
he's most certainly not lecturing me.
no, no, but yeah, if no, if you're fake, go be fake somewhere else.
Okay, well, that's a good thing to not believe in. I mean, like, I think too, and Wes said too about audio recordings too. I think that can be, from evidence and a paranormal investigator point of view too. I mean, we are well aware of people who fabricate evidence. And so I think all in all, that does do the field a big disservice. I just was curious, and that was a good answer. I was curious if there was anything you didn't think was legit. Because I consider myself like the most open-minded person.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
just like to not rule anything out, but I totally agree with you that if someone's not doing something for the right reasons, or
Yeah,
if it's an illegitimate result, it doesn't help the credibility of the field. Most certainly.
absolutely.
Most certainly. And I would ask you what your favorite road trip snack is, whether or not it's when we go on a road trip, but I already know what it is. Well, I
Well,
mean, I
Rich has
think I
got a
might.
good question. Did you see Rich's question?
Oh, no, wait a second.
A couple.
Here it is. There is nothing that can prove or disprove the paranormal. And Rich starts all of his paranormal nights like that. He explains that to everyone.
Yeah.
And I
So
mean, it's a very valid point. But then he finishes by saying, and I'm going to paraphrase here, Rich, but he finishes by saying that anything that we're not sure or above and beyond what's normal is then considered paranormal. So if we can't explain it or we don't
yeah,
know. So, I think it's a really valid point for sure.
yeah.
And he finishes all in all on a
When you
hopeful note.
when you break down the meaning, right? Para is by the
Yeah.
side of, and normal is the base for what we see in life. So beside of normal is
Yeah.
what we accept of life. When it's
Right.
something that's possibly abnormal, it doesn't make it that it's paranormal. We can all gather to say, okay, how about we say this is intriguing? That's certainly
Yeah.
intriguing. I think we need to revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
But just unless four people are there and you got recordings and stuff out, and suddenly you see this full-bodied apparition go by you and down a hall, then you start saying, okay, well, there's four of us here. There's only four come in the building. What the hell was that?
Mm-hmm.
So then you tend to have to try to back up and adjust that and see where you're at. But I mean, yeah, I get that for sure, Rich. I get that for sure. There's very little that actually is. You can use most stuff you can pretty much disqualify, and only those very small parts. Even if it's 99%, you say it was nothing, but this one. For instance, I'll even go there, like Robin's picture, our video of what she's on anomalies. These are some real intriguing anomalies. They're not like what others say, of all sorts. And you got to take time. And she's got lots of other stuff. Oh Lord, she's got a full active room that they actually intelligently respond. So there again, those aren't living people that are up and, hey, how you doing, Robin? Robin, hello, Robin. I want chicken for breakfast. I mean, so that's
By the
not
way, chicken is his favorite road trip snack. We didn't
Yeah.
ever circle back around, but I figured it was important. We got the box fried chicken that time. I think that would be your favorite road trip snack. Gary also has a very good point about using your equipment, and I'm not sure if Flip's watching tonight or not, but he always says to make sure to know how to use it both before your investigation and then while all the lights are off in the dark. Because if you have it with you, what's the point? If you're not sure, you have to turn a light on to know how to use it. I'm sure he's not referring to the fact that I mess up the voice recorder that he hands me, but otherwise, there's a million buttons on those. But otherwise,
yeah.
you do have to know how to use it both, with the lights on and off. And honestly, Gary, what you're saying about techniques and approach too, I think that's truly important no matter who you're going with. I mean, you kind of can read the rest of the group or the people that you're with and kind of confer on those things before you start. But I think that's a very, very valid point.
Gary's a good guy. He's doing some great things out there, and I love Gary. I think he's like a brother to me. So he's a great guy. Okay.
Oh, Rich has okay. You do. You want to find those things. Yeah. And that's that right and pure intention that we were talking about. So, absolutely. Did you freeze?
No, does Rich and does Rich know Kenny Biddle?
Oh yes, he knows Kenny Biddle. I just got a message from Kenny Biddle tonight. I'm not sure he's watching.
He'd be a great guest, wouldn't he?
But he volunteered. That was his message tonight. Yes, he volunteered. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We could have an evening with Kenny Biddle live in concert for one night only. And interesting guy. I mean, he makes you keep thinking, and that's the thing. We got to have somebody hold us feet to the fire, because otherwise we'd be running around saying, the sky is falling, there's ghosts everywhere, I see ghosts, I've recorded a ghost. There's enough of them around anyway, right?
Yeah, I guess so. What's a place that you want to maybe get to in the next year or two?
I want to go to Alcatraz.
Yes, I know that's your token answer. That's your token answer. And I'm still waiting for you to call me one day and be like, guess what I got? The contact number for Alcatraz. Hi, Tim.
God, Tim's been a lot of places. We could ask Tim. A place I really want to get to. Oh, Lord. What are some of the places in Kansas? Maybe Gary would know. There's some amazing places in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Robin
heard Alcatraz isn't haunted anymore. Guess you have to go with your second choice.
Well, Gary would know the haunted places in Kansas. I would. There's.
Oh, Tim.
Golly, man, there's a bunch of places out there.
So you want to do like a middle of the country area?
Yeah, I've been to the east, kind of to the other. I would love to get to go see the Heartland and some places out there. I mean, geez, true poltergeist active hauntings versus malicious intent hauntings. Those are investigations that are unique in their own thumbprint. Indeed, Gary, indeed. Andrew Darling, Wyoming.
There we go. There you go.
Wow.
Sounds like a dandy road trip.
Yeah, man, geez. That would be fun. That would be fun. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Wes, that one's on my list. The Monroe House.
Well, that would, yeah. I mean, if you keep naming them, I'm be like, yeah, that's, yeah.
Yep.
You see the bucket list shirts people wear, and oh, Lord, I get to thinking, my gosh, I'd run out of room on my big old body with a bucket list shirt.
Robin, we'll just start. Sure, add it to the list. That sounds good. Add that to the list. I haven't been out to Madison Seminary either, so I'd like to go there. That's also on my list.
Yep. I think Gary knows some folks with that place. It's been on TV before. I hope to get you out to the Black Swan Inn in San Antonio.
You say how amazing that is. So
It's, man, we had one of the best investigations as far as a public. Woo wee! We had some tears. My goodness, we had some tears.
there we go.
I have an abundance of Kansas locations, old hospitals, mental hospitals. Yeah. And it looks like I'm going to be going to move in with Gary here probably next week.
He'll be busy for a few months.
Oh man, in a heartbeat. He's got the places, man. He knows some peeps, that's for sure. Good locations. Robin's got some good EVPs there. Robin's got some hot spots laid away somewhere.
I know. I want to get out that far. I mean, like to Robin's direction. But I mean, I don't know if it'll be before the bash. It may be in the fall time, Robin. I'll come out. You can come up, and we'll head that way.
I think Robin's got. You had posted something, Robin, about you got a surgery coming up, or just in a couple days. Because if you do, we need to put out the prayers for Miss Robin.
Yeah.
She supports the show very well, and so
get better so we can see at the bash.
Yeah, she says I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wash Show Club is. I've been there twice, and it delivers every time. Wow, so cool, man. It was on TV just the other night, so. Yeah, we'll be praying for you, Robin. I'll have you in my prayers. I'm sure it's going to go well. So if Robin wants to go to the WashU, that's in Virginia City, and I tell you, that little town is a really very cool little town, just all the way around. But lots of history, man. The ground is there's so much that the miners and the people and the buildings and it's just. I mean, you talk about shadow figures at night, and you stand against a post and you look at Main Street, and there, you just look down at it, and as you look through it, you can just see them clearly, and it's like people are, oh, there's one, and just going across inside, or there's one going across, or this one just walks out and is gone. But it's super active.
And you know where else is like that too? I don't know if you've been to this place, but this is a place I would love to get back to as soon as possible. And Robin, I'm not sure because it is a little bit more your direction, but Hillview Manor. It's in Western Pennsylvania, and it's the same sort of thing. I mean, you can look down the hallway and see moving shadows. Kind of resembles St. Albans in a way, in that way. But it's amazing, and it's just expansive, and all the floors don't line up, and it's kind of just a hidden gem in the middle of, I mean, there are a few things around it, but it's not a heavily populated area, so it's a really, really neat place.
Gary's got a good question.
Oh, okay, hold on. Here we go. How do you truly rank a haunted location, for example? I think there should be different scales, Gary. That's just my opinion. Like, I mean, I think, granted, they can have some of the same things that overlap, but I think a haunted or historic public location is different than a private home. And yes, I agree. There's so many undiscovered still out there, or just left. But I think it should be a different scale depending on what type of place it is.
Yeah, I agree. Gary's got that down. I think it's got a lot to do with the TV as to when they look at those and they got, per se, maybe their team or another, and they tend to post those as the world's most haunted. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of other places that I would say that I've been fortunate to get to go to that were much more haunted than what they're showing. I'm like, I was there, and it was like we could have had coffee and a piece of cake.
But here's the thing. Here's a little caveat, though. It really and this is just from an energy perspective. And I think Keith can validate this. I mean, for seeing dead people, I'm very analytical when it comes to investigating. So I do rule everything else out, and I am very careful and, with equipment or anything. And I, from an energy point of view, I don't know until the tech is consistent and legitimate to kind of document any changes, because from a spiritual perspective, each spirit interaction is never guaranteed. So you're going to have a spiritual, you may have interaction one evening and not another evening. It could be depending on the day of time, day of the year, moon, who goes with you, what their intention is, all those things. So, unless you're looking at like environmental changes and somehow linking that to scientific paranormal evidence, I mean, spiritually, that's really up on a whim of whoever wants to communicate.
Yeah, it's fun. Rich says that about a place could be off the hook and back on the hook, and
yeah.
And I've actually experienced that just by going to a big investigation with a bunch of little places on the, and actually we went in a place inside, and we were like, Another team went in, and they're like, oh, it was this and that, and I was like, well, good for you, because we, we didn't hardly hear a cricket. So I mean, I think it is, and maybe their intent was they come in super pumped up, energy buzzing, and then they claim to have had all these events. But then again, we're thinking, and I'll say, pose this, Rich, is it more that it's in our mind when that's the case than what they're really, truly experiencing? That they're in their mind saying, it's a spooky place. I just know I'm going to experience something. So they self-project it, and then they're claiming to have had that experience. When in reality,
a few guys. I know a few guys who went looking for the New Jersey Devil and also had that. So they went by the folklore and everything. And of course, they're very wonderful guys and seasoned investigators. So, but that's another instance, right? I was just teasing Rich for that, but it's true.
Well,
yeah, I think it really depends each time on, on who's there and what the intention is and the energy. Gary has another question. Oh, there you go. Have you watched that show, Keith?
I have. Yeah. So, some of the folks on there are friends of mine that I'm close to, that have been there, and as not to, deteriorate any relations to this, I will say that different locations at times require different types of techniques or equipment due to just their size. It's a huge type thing that they're taking on, with the amount from ground to sky to in between. So they've got a lot of people that are, and plus an incredible budget. That's another big thing, to be able to go and buy this incredible technology, this equipment.
Keith would like that tech budget, Gary.
I mean, yeah, when you see the guy, he flies in on the helicopter, they have their meetings, and they're like, yeah, let's make it happen. And let's make it happen means writing a big check a lot to go and make that stuff happen. So there's some intriguing activity for sure. I'm fascinated by it. You think about UFOs, and then the skinwalkers, and what's their story of ancient, there's so much of a mix there. It's just like it's like a global portal right in this spot where so much comes into this world and then leaves this world to other locations. So I think there's times where some of that they purposely keep us away. They keep us from being able to get some of those answers. Equipment shuts down, um, storms. I mean, all this. It's interesting. It's an interesting location. I would be honored to get to go. Um, yeah, Robin's got the underground place. Yeah, I mean, could they? Could that be the case? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, but then again, they may have it to where it's in you know, it's not able to be penetrated as far as the actual housing or the location. Or so if that's the case, they're holding back the fort. So that's why it goes back to Rich about trying to figure some of this out. I think there's some of it that we're not meant to find out, and they're not going to let us. And I think that's to get all together a whole nother thing. That's almost falling into biblical things. You know how a lot of times spirits don't talk much about things. They get very tight-lipped. They will not say things. Like you ask them about what's this like and what's this and how is this, and they will not answer you. It very well may be a law, like an angelic law or something that says you can't tell a human being about this. It's forgiven. And if so, well, guess what the punishment is? You know where you're at? Well, you're not here anymore. And then the alternative is not good. So, I mean, I think there's, as much as it is intriguing, and some of it's kind of a little bit kind of scary. I love you. Yeah. Gary's DJI. Wow. M300 RTK with
the LiDAR, I think, is one of the most, this is from a non-technological perspective, but one of the most intriguing pieces of equipment that they use on that.
Yeah, they did that without.
Cool that you get to,
when they found out, they saw the Bigfoot on the new show, and they actually were over the top of him, and they actually looked down in there, and he was kind of right by a tree. And I took a picture of that and made a post about it. And he actually went across right to another tree. And I was like, if anything's probably going to find that, it's going to be that. Because I don't think you can hide from that way up above the sky. Unless he becomes, he decides to become transparent. And then you don't see him, so.
Yeah. By the way, I guess we should share before the end of the show that we get to represent the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash this year.
How cool is that, folks? How cool is that? We get to
have guests and speakers on our show, and Pam and Steve, and we're going to be there and hang out the whole weekend. So I'm very excited about this. There's so many cool people that we have to get on our show before the bash, and it's going to be a blast. And Robin's going to be better, and she's going to be there, and we're all going to hang out for a whole weekend. It's going to be amazing.
I think this is more special. I think we've netted some things down. Me and Kelly have talked about less is better, but quality is better than quantity. To have a hand in these events that we really stand behind, and they kind of back us as much as we back them. So that's kind of where we're at for 2023. But that being said, we know some folks that we've already started thinking about getting on the show, and interesting ones. Some of the ones you may have met, may not have, but they're really cool cats. So we want to get them on and just have a ball and talk about an event that has been near and dear. And so, Steve and Pam are the quintessential, dream team of doing cool stuff in the field. So we stand, we love them. We stand behind them. Kelly gets to hang out with them quite a bit and stuff. And that's a great thing. If I could live up there, I would too. So getting to do this, folks, you're going to get here in the coming weeks. We're going to just dive right into it. because it's already going to be in July. And look at the way this year is going.
Yeah.
It's already it's May now. It's about to be June.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember saying la 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 la. What? May? Yep, it's May. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it's Maggie, Robin. Maggie is injured right now, so she's extra lovey. That's who I'm petting on the couch. You can't see her, but she's up here with me. Oh, Gary says, Keith, let's talk about the electron multiplying camera.
Yeah, I need to. That's a little doll of mine. That's one I'd like to get, but I think it's a super big check. But hey,
you can ask Santa.
Yeah, it's a very cool cat. I haven't talked to Gary in a while. I need to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, keep Kelly's little puppy doo on your thoughts there. Had a little trip and fall and snagged a nail. It's not getting around too cool.
I mean,
Petey.
It's been constant.
Petey.
Right now. They're of the age. They get a little more need a little more attention. But yeah, so I'm excited. We get to go to the bash, and in the next upcoming shows between now and the bash time, we will have a whole lot of people on the show. There's Petey.
So this is my infamous little Petey. If you've ever seen Petey Pablo, he's gonna give me kisses. Petey's my little buddy. He's a rescue dog.
Mine are rescues also.
Hello. And Petey Pooh, he is a very cool little dude. Had him since he was a baby.
Aww.
Rescue puppy. And
no tongue, Wes says.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what, everybody?
He says, what? See his ears? What? Whatever could it be?
Yeah. So we can. Did you hear him? My Lincoln is making comments also. He's also excited. Okay, so everybody, we can't say where just yet, but we want you to know that we appreciate you. And over the next month or two, we're going to end up giving out some tickets to join us for some investigations coming up. We can't say where just yet, but
so how cool is that?
How much we appreciate you, and just know that there will be some tickets coming to some events with us in the next month or two.
And I got to get that shirt out to Courtney. I know I do.
Yeah.
I've got to do that because I think that's one I forgot. Who's your brother at? You go get your brother.
Gary says, thoughts on implementing music reenactments or dressing up at certain Tyron locations again. You know, Gary, again, from a spiritual perspective, I've seen, honestly, because I see and hear, and I was just talking to a friend about this as well. I mean, sometimes if it's done respectfully, it's well received, but I've seen spirit roll their eyes at our attempts. I've seen them laugh at our attempts. I've seen them put their hands on their hips, literally turn around and walk away if it's not done right. So I think therein, again, is the intention of what we're trying to do. Just from a spiritual point of view. So Keith, you can weigh in too. But
yeah, that's a excellent point. I mean, Kelly has more insight, obviously, with her abilities to see into the things that we do not, and to say that the spirits are affected that way is something we don't want to do. So maybe by an aspect of maybe just if it was a gun battle and you just had a pistol and had some shots, and then that's because they say you hear cannons on the field at Gettysburg. Gary, if you've never got to go, if you want to go this year, dude, then come hang out and it'll be fun. It will be fun, man. Just grab on, come on, let's go, because it's going to be really super cool. Um, but I tend to think out of respect, if they're feeling if they're not having it and it's not a good thing, then you just pull back. But I think if it's done with respect, you're just trying to tell them that you're there to tell their story, and it works, then sure. But if not, we respect that. So
Yeah. You have good questions, Gary. Thanks for posing those questions.
Gary does.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Yep. So everyone. What? Oh, Wes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wes was talking about that time I did back in the day at the brothel. I don't look good in like a RuPaul's 20th 1920s drag. It doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't sit right. I just don't, the high heels, the wig, the makeup, I don't know. The spirits were laughing for sure. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Gary asks, you have a good capture from Gettysburg, correct?
Yes. I have one that is, I showed a couple people, but it's a hard to believe that that's what it is kind of picture. I sent it to the one person I trust, and anybody that doesn't know Tony Rothman, the guy is about as good as you get in this industry. Him and his wife. I called him up and said, "Man, I got to send you something." He looked at it, and I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him what I was seeing. I let him look, and then I says, and then I'm 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna send you a picture of something, and you tell me either yes, maybe that's what you saw, or no, just totally be honest. Well, it's about that long, and I sent that picture, and he goes, "Yep, I see what you're saying." So it was one of the holy grails as far as pictures go. I've got EVPs that are holy grails, but some of them are just right here. The one, Kelly, we weren't recording, and we heard that screaming woman at the Fort Mifflin. Wow.
Yeah, and Rich, you know, it is a good point. I mean, like I said, I think if it's done respectfully with the right intention, I think it's fine. And I've seen people get, as we all have, thanks TV, get kind of aggressive in their words or the way that they're trying to get a spirit to communicate and interact. And that's why I said what I said, because it does the exact opposite. But I think absolutely, if it's something that you can have a conversation with that person about, I think it's incredibly relevant. And that is the only way we'll know, is if we try. There are so many places coming up and so many fun things. I will hopefully see some of the people in the chat either next weekend. I'm going to be at Whitehill Mansion, and the following weekend at Penhurst, and June at Paravation in Strasburg, Virginia, and July the Battlefield Bash. So, and I'm missing one or two right now. So,
they're coming up.
Yeah, they're coming up. Different things are on the horizon, and this year we definitely, as a team, wanted to visit some different places and check out some things, and also do some investigations with all of you and the two of us. So some fun things coming up, and we're really, really thankful to kind of close for the evening. We're really thankful that we get to spend Monday nights with you all. We took a little break over April because of our schedules, but we're really, really thankful. And we're thankful that you're with us after 50 shows. I think that's amazing.
Wes, I'm hoping to get to go to some of these places as soon as I can. I had a little event back, it's been a couple months ago. It was a pretty big scare. I fortunately got through it. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be here right now. But I can say that I'm better now, and looking to do some things and take better care of myself. So Once those things scooch right along and I'm thumbs up, then I can get back to doing some stuff. But I just want to say that thanks to all of you beyond words. Just if I talked any longer, I'd be probably in tears. But just I came from a place um, in the paranormal with a place that was terrible, just terrible. And then it's like God said, "Nope, you're going to do better." And then put Kelly in my life, and it's been like a blessing. Uh, which I give that to you guys. I mean, life doesn't have to suck forever. It may for a while until you get out of that situation. You don't have to be a backseat driver. You can do what you want to do. And I was in the back for way too long. And so finally the day come, I got to be with Kelly, and we do this together. It's not just one person dictating. So I'm very thankful, and we're both thankful to you guys out there.
Absolutely.
Putting up, with my shenanigans, but
wrestling intros,
we make
portal noises.
What? Yeah. Oh, what do we not do on here? I mean, my goodness. What?
We made it through the whole thing. We made it through the whole thing with no portal noise. Robin, did you catch?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. A portal noise. No, I'll spare you that. Light and love to all of you. Feel free to go out there and tell the ones if you want to have a crazy Mondays don't have to suck because you got Talking Tech Paranormal. You've got us here to laugh, to make the day a little better, and then hopefully the week. Laugh about, call us, laugh at us, say hey, it was fun. But we are indeed blessed to have you peeps in our life.
Absolutely.
Like Wes said, love you guys. At the end of the day, we may be having tough times, but when you have friends, you have somebody to have your six, and we feel that's what we have. So
absolutely. And thank you again, everybody. Stick around for way more than 50, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Good night.